All right, we are live, everybody. Welcome to Construct Connect this morning. We're excited to be here to talk about the 6 days left before our actual Construct Connect Academy for the second one this year. So we're super excited. Got some special guests here who haven't been here before, and then some familiar faces. I know the millions of you are knowing who they are and wanting to know the new people as well. So we're going to get started because we've only got like a few minutes, right? Well, we'll go as long as, I guess, till I hit end stream. But anyways, so my name is Mark Fly. I am the product evangelist here at Construct Connect. I'm also known as the bid coach for those millions of people that are. And if we're having connectivity issues, which is showing on my screen, hey, such is life in 2020 and 2021. So let's go ahead and get started. Who I start with first is a very familiar face that everybody's aware of, Katie Pickard. Katie Pickard. And Katie, can you give us a little bit of information, who you are, what you do here, and then tell us some really exciting stuff to expect at this next academy and why every contractor needs to be here.
Absolutely. So I'm Katie Pickard. I'm the director of training on the Takeoff and estimating side of the business for all of the on-center tools and ConstructConnect Takeoff. And I'm so excited about the upcoming academy because we've got a different mix of sessions than we've ever had before. We've added in several new sessions. I won't spoil the beans for everybody else that's going to share about some of the other tracks. But one track that I want you to know about in specific is pro tips. We're taking feedback from a lot of other people and from experiences estimators have in our day-to-day classes, and we're pouring all of our team's experiences into a single track, 4 powerhouse sessions on your basic takeoff and estimating skills. Like, we have former estimators on our team who collectively have over 50 years of experience, and boy, do they have some stories to tell. And you are not going to want to miss those. If you've ever asked questions like, well, how do I figure out what my production rate is? Do you know how to test that? Do you know how to come up with those numbers? How do I pull all the best information out of my completed bid so that I can really manage my project well? Do you know what those steps are? Do you know the pitfalls to look for in blueprints? You might be new to takeoff and estimating, you might not be, and you might still want to learn all of their hard-earned tips and tricks from out in the trenches. So we have four sessions: Takeoff to Win, Predict Labor, that's a really powerful one, Bid Checklist, like, do you have everything you need? Make sure you got everything covered, and how to analyze your bid. So that's pro tips. That's a brand new track, and it's going to benefit so many different people. Doesn't matter what products you have. Those are things that you need to know how to do, come and we'll kind of walk you through it.
And that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And as an estimator myself, that's how I got into all this. I really love those sessions, and we'll be expanding those more. So in addition to that, I wanted to mention, when you go to those, because I know everybody will, your feedback. What else do you need to be a successful estimator? And we're going to really value your input on that as well. So sorry to interrupt, Katie. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I was going to say also, so we have fantastic sessions for GCs. We're going through I²foot and smart bid sessions. And listen, like, why should you come to those? Why should you come to any of these? There are some really significant, unique experiences you have when you come to the academy. Like, you can ask questions live. So we have an instant, like, little chat portal that you can be communicating with these trainers live, but you also get the benefit of hearing everybody else's questions from your peers across the industry, and you'll learn from that. You learn from each other, and that's one of the beautiful things about learning in community. You get real life scenarios. So we don't just walk you through, like, click step A, B, C, D. We talk you through the actual life experience that you're going through, and we apply that to why the software was built the way it was in the first place. Those are the kinds of things that you're going to hear. And plus, in addition to 4 live sessions, this is true for all of us, bonus points for the cat. Woohoo! In addition to the 4 live sessions, you get to have recordings of every other session, because you're not going to be able to watch everything live at the same time. That would be that would be quite a feat. So everything that is happening in all these fantastic tracks, you're going to be able to go back and watch on recording for up to 60 days. So you get 4 live plus everything. And I'm especially excited this particular academy because we've invited someone very special to me to be our keynote speaker, Angelo Castelli. He was for the longest time the president of OnCenter Software. He is a longtime on-screen takeoff and quick bid user. He used it out in the field before he joined the company. He knows his stuff. He really does. And you're going to want to hear what he has to say to kind of walk you through, the industry, what's happening today. I could keep going, but you're probably going to have to stop me because I'm going to eat up everybody's time. And I think he might be frozen. Oh, poor Mark. So let me hand it off then to Mark. Are you back? You were frozen there for a second.
I think he's still frozen.
And we can't hear you.
Well, I'll take over next since he's going to introduce me.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, by all means.
My name is Young Wan. I am a team with customer success with ConstructConnect. I am very excited, and I will be presenting in the Academy, talking about CCPI integration with all of our takeoff tools here with ConstructConnect Takeoff, on-screen takeoff, and PlanSwift. The reason why this is exciting for me is it's going to speed up your workflow. It's going to allow you to kind of really compact that data and flow it from one source to the next, which is what we want. Click of a button, you're good to go. And I'm excited to present that because it's exciting to me. But I've been in construction for a little over a year and a half. And the more I learn, the more I find out time is very important. Profitability is important, and getting those bids out quicker and more efficiently really make life move forward quickly. And I'm excited to talk about that in our sessions during the Academy. So please come, please join, and we'd love to see your shining faces there.
And if I can interject one thing, for those of you who don't know this term as well as we all know it, CCPI is our ConstructConnect Project Intelligence. So that's our lead generating source. And as you know, the integration is all about pulling those leads into your favorite takeoff solution. I'm excited about it too, Young. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a great team.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Young. By the way, Young, I had a question for you. So you said you've only been in the construction with this construction company for about a year and a half. How has your experience before that? Let me put it this way. Was it what you thought it would be when you deal? Because you're dealing with subcontractors, suppliers, general contractors, egos, no egos. I mean, and everything in between. Was it what you expected?
Surprisingly enough, I come from an auto background. So my previous industry was the auto industry, everything from dealerships, selling cars, general manager. And there are a lot of parallels that I've actually drawn from my previous industry to the construction industry, which speaks to me, right? Efficiency, profitability, all the good things that allow us to stay in business, go on fun vacations, and do everything for our companies that we need to do. And I'm excited to bring that experience. And yes, from a experience level, there are new things I learned from construction that surprise me every day, and I love it because we're always evolving, we're always growing, and we've got some tools that really help us get there to the final goal.
That's awesome. And one of the things on a personal note I'd like to add about Young, I actually, when he first came with the company, I helped with some of the onboarding and training and all that. You won't find, well, you will. Their team is amazing. Katie's team is amazing. All the takeoff people are amazing. But his excitement level is always up, always up, which is really cool. And I can't wait for you to bring that to the sessions. Another reason to come, definitely. So
coffee helps
with
too.
That, there you go too. All right. With that said, we have another special guest here today. Tane is from the PlanSwift team. Remember, PlanSwift is another one of the ConstructConnect companies that we have, product, if you will. By the way, I just want to interject. So I am also, like Angelo, I'm a longtime user. I was using OST in fact, Greg is so, what's the right word? Mature, that he actually did the training for me back in 2000 when I was in San Jose. So Greg is like, he's one of the coolest guys I think I've ever met. So I'm really excited about that. So PlanSwift also is going to be on this academy, which is their first time. They have a huge following. It's a great program, and we're excited to have them on board this specific academy, and hopefully many more after this. So Tane, first, before you start talking about all that, can you tell us who you are and what you do here at ConstructConnect?
Absolutely. My name is Tane. I've been working with PlanSwift for a short period of time now, but I am a product training specialist. So I help people learn how to customize their PlanSwift and make it work best for their businesses. Within the academy, we're teaching several different tracks. The first one being Speed Up Your Takeoff. It's just a nice introduction to PlanSwift. Teaches you how to import your jobs, navigate your pages, organize everything, and then start performing takeoff on your plans. The second track is Parts and Assemblies. It's where we get into demonstrating estimating material quantities and costs and utilizing parts and assemblies within PlanSwift to create specific needs for your jobs.
Can I ask you a quick question on that real quick?
Yeah.
So I've heard that term a few times now, assemblies. And that's what's really exciting about this is we may be throwing out lingo that you may or may not know. And that's what part of those pro tips series are for, is to also help educate you with some of that. Assemblies are essentially, you can do a takeoff, a measurement of a wall, but there's all the different parts and components that was mentioned earlier that go in that. And we have ways to extract all of that data from just one simple process, from one takeoff, if you will, with all the different assemblies. So again, that's just something I wanted to reiterate. There's a lot of things to learn, not just our product training. You come, even if you don't use any of our products, you're going to learn more about your specific role as an estimator. And it's going to find that very beneficial. So go ahead. Sorry, Tane.
No, don't be sorry. No, assemblies are great. I like that you took a second to expand on that a little bit, because you're right, we do use a lot of lingo that we are very comfortable with, but people might not know what it is. So I appreciate that. And we are also doing a session on reporting. So it's being able to take all of that data from your estimating being your takeoff data, and then the things that we're collecting with our assemblies. So the quantitative information that it is calculating for us. And then reporting is going to allow us to put that into a nice way to send it out as a bid. So it'll take it and put it into a nice format, so it's not just a list of takeoff data and quantities, and it's a more user-friendly and readable version of your takeoff data. And then we also have a session for file sharing and backing up all of this information. That way, if you are working remote or you have an office computer and a remote computer, you don't need to back up and transfer your files without, my apologies, you can back up and transfer your files without it having to be like a hassle or anything. It makes it a lot easier, it's a lot more manageable, and it'll work with the Swift process. So
okay. For those of you, even though I only look like I'm probably 30, I've actually been in the industry for 40 years. But some of the things that Tane has mentioned, and Katie and Young, may sound a little overwhelming if you're new to this. Yet another reason to come sit in and listen. It's not really, all of the products that we have are really just tools that enhance a process you are already doing. All we're doing is expanding on. Everybody has a process that they do, whether it's takeoff, how they do their takeoffs, how they do their measurements, how they do their quantities, their assemblies, and their pricing, and so on. We're simply taking that process and showing you how to use it in a digital world for those that haven't done that yet. For those that are already familiar with all of that, we're just, again, going to show you tips and tricks on enhancing the awesome process that you already have as well. So there is definitely something for everybody. Don't let the tech or geek speak shy you away from this, because believe me, you're going to hear some down-to-earth terms, and this is the place too to come and ask questions. Remember, as Katie said, every session you can ask questions, and we're going to make sure that we get all those questions answered. And I want to add this too. I'm not just trying to sell it, but I'm going to go ahead and try to sell it. Is the cost for this is $75 for all day. It's an all day event. That gives you a full access pass to every single session that we have. If you can't watch 2 at the same time, which would be virtually impossible, all of them are recorded as well. So you'll have access for 60 days after that to share with your entire team if you need to. We're allowing that. You can share that internally with your subsidiaries, with your whole team members and all that stuff. There is definitely something in here for everybody to make sure that we're expanding your knowledge as estimators and anywhere inside the pre-construction realm. And I'm sure, Katie, yes, I saw the look. So go right ahead.
I was just going to reiterate that this is a really special time to come in and participate in an academy like this, in a program like this, because all of our training teams across the board, we all used to go out in person and train classes. We used to do that often. And PlanSwift and OnCenter and ConstructConnect and all of us, like we all used to go and have classrooms full of people, and our clients, all of you, could count on seeing us on the regular. So you'd have regular training, but then you could count on whenever the next time's coming that you could come in and get more detailed. And that hasn't happened in over a year because of COVID. This has been our opportunity to reach you and to give you that opportunity, because everybody knows when you have your first training with software, you're going to learn enough to be dangerous and you're going to learn enough to get going, but you're not going to know every tip and trick out there. And so when you come back for training like this, you are no longer, like the way that adults learn, you're no longer trying to learn the basic stuff. Now you're available and ready to learn stuff that's going to make you go even faster. So like when Tane's talking about assemblies and reporting and things like that with PlanSwift, and they just had a new release, 10.3, like you don't want to miss that kind of stuff, because even if you've been through training last year, we haven't had a classroom training to dive deep since, a year and almost a half ago. And now's the time. Now's the time to come back and go, okay, I've been using this for 12 months. I want to see what else I'm not using so that I can maximize the investment I made. And that's true for everything that we've got going on here, is you want to take it to the next level now that you got your feet wet. So it's for brand new folks, and it's for people who've been using it for a while. Everybody's going to benefit. I told you I could keep going on and on and on and on.
Well, that's why training's so important. We've got a lot of insight and stuff into stuff. So I love it. I love it. I love it.
No, this is exciting. One thing I was noticing that we have 3 really highly recognized representatives in the Takeoff realm right now: Katie, Tane, and Young. But I also want to stress for the GCs, you also all have to do takeoffs. I call it quantify to qualify your proposals. And so, but don't forget, we also have bid management sessions in here as well. If you're a smart bid user or if you're an I-square-foot user, we have tracks on those. One of the sessions that I'll be leading, I think, is really super important. There's a feature inside smart bid called bid tabs. Every single GC that I've ever worked for and that I've ever talked to has a certain process where they have to level out and scope out to get all the subcontractor proposals in line, apples for apples. They've got to come up with a line item. So there's a process inside SmartBid called bid tabs, and I have a lot of experience. I helped build that many years ago as well. So I'm going to be excited to teach that. It's pretty deep, but it's super cool. I get super excited when I'm going to do it. But I just wanted to make sure that you understood. If you're a general contractor thinking, well, what's in this for me? We do Takeoff. Yeah, there is a lot in the Takeoff, but also in the bid management as well. And one of the things that we do, even if you don't use I-square-foot or you don't use SmartBid, it's still best practices on how to get different things done. The whole reason any GC has a bid management software, even if you don't, if you're using email and an Excel sheet to track everything, you're using software. It's a process, because the whole reason you do it is you need potential coverage come bid day. So we're going to talk about a lot of best practices. So again, if it's not your cup of tea, I-square-foot or SmartBid, it's still bid management. which is still very important to you. And same thing with the Takeoff. If you don't use, we have 4 different products. We have QuoteSoft, PlanSwift, ConstructConnect Takeoff, and on-screen Takeoff. If you don't use any of those, it's still okay because we're still talking about Takeoff. And I just have to plug this because I always get excited about it. All the products that I've mentioned here that are under the ConstructConnect umbrella, I'm very proud to say we've basically set the bar. These products have been around a long time. They have been tried, trued, and tested through recessions, 9/11, the pandemic now, I mean, everything. So anything else that you see or that you use, there are wonderful products out there that aren't ours as well. Part of that, we set the bar where all of those have to actually meet before they can even expand on anything. So I wanted to throw that out there. I love working with ConstructConnect. It's as an estimator at heart first, and as a product evangelist first. It's just fun to work with a company that's been so inclusive in everybody's job that's in pre-construction. Everybody knows one of our products, at least, which is exciting. So with that plug, I wanted to go back and ask Young a couple other questions. I want to know, what is the oddest client that you've talked with? And by that, before you answer, what I mean is, you get, I don't mean, you don't name the person. I mean, like, you get concrete guys and you get painting guys and you get general contractors and all that stuff. What is the most off the wall type of client that you've had that actually? This will get some likes, I'm sure.
I hope so. So it was my third month on the job, and I'm introducing myself to clients, and I was literally shocked. Is that a thing? And then he kind of let me down, and it was we've had a great relationship since. He even calls me, even though I cover a different territory. We talk to each other probably once a month just to talk shop a little bit.
That's awesome. That's good story, Young. Okay, well, go ahead and mute Young here real quick. And no, I'm just kidding. That was great. That was awesome. Katie, I wanted to ask you another question too. So you and I have, out of the group here, you and I have actually traveled to some of these events that you've talked about. In fact, I was teaching when I was with SmartBid before we became part of ConstructConnect. I was teaching at the Estimating Academy in Kansas City. And you were there with Greg, who was the first person that ever demoed OST to me many years ago. And that's when we first met. So obviously things have changed. I know you used to go to a lot of different events. So based on your experience and totally unbiased opinion, if you can, in relation to the in-person training and now with the virtual training, how would you gauge the success of that? How are we projecting that the virtual is almost as good or whatever? How would you relate that to somebody?
That's such a good question. There is nothing like sitting down at lunch with people and hearing their stories, like Young shared. Like I could share 100,000 stories I've heard over the years, and I love meeting people in person and hearing their experiences and all that. There's just no replacement for that. That said, there are ways that we can teach online that we can't do in person. Really, there are ways that we can present our software that you can't do in person, that the online environment allows us a little bit of technological flexibility, that helps us kind of get the points across a little bit differently than if we were standing in front of a classroom and everybody had their own machine. So that's interesting. We've been teaching online for years. This is not new for us, but to do bigger classes like this online, that is new for us this year. And it has been really exciting, engaging. We've had the freedom to pull in more speakers at one time, whereas when we taught, usually we only had, one person or two people, but to have a few more voices, it becomes a conversation. And everybody who's on that call is really drawing off of each other. And that's really exciting. And then, nobody has to travel, so you don't have to pick up and fly across the country. And then yet you still have the ability in our event site to collaborate and to network with people from all over everywhere. I mean, we have clients all over the world, but let's just say in the United States, one end of a country to the other, you could be connecting with someone, say, hey, I saw that question you asked, that was really good. Let's talk. There's things like that give us a little bit something extra in the online space that you couldn't get in person. I don't know if that's what you were looking for, but those are the things that kind of came to mind.
It is. And with that said, something I was going to do at the front, I know we're almost at the end, but one of the guys on Katie's team, Cliff Holverson, put together a very short, I think it's a minute and a half, if that, quick little video that kind of pumps me up every time I play it. So I want to play that now, and then we'll come back real quick and just follow up real quick. So let me go ahead and click play on here and just enjoy this. That is so cool. Cliff, you're awesome. That's such a great job. Very cool. Well, I think one thing I do want to mention too is remember there's 6 days left before the event. If you need, hold on a second. If you need a promo code to get a discount, there's information in the chat. Go ahead and contact us at academy@constructconnect.com, and we will get you a promo code to get a discount. Definitely. I think that's everything. Man, we talked about a lot, and I had a great time, as always, doing this, just hamming it up. But I want to especially thank Tane, Young, and Katie for being here and putting up with my antics. But you guys really, today I think was really super special out of all these that we've done so far. We really talked about more the value across the board that people can expect. And I think that's the thing, is we're setting the expectations here as well. It's not just another event, come go to, yeah, here's some swag. It's not just that. It's like we really are trying to grow this into something extraordinary. So We want to thank you all for listening. Make sure that you like and share and pass it on and all that other good stuff. Thank you all. Have a great day and happy bidding.